Welcome back to the news at 10. 2 people were today injured in the Mile 12 area of Lagos State after the balcony of a building partially collapsed. According to the member of the Lagos State House of Assembly representing Koshofe Constituency 2, Tunde Braimo, the building had shown signs of distress as some portion of the balcony was already caving in. He told newsmen that a full-scale investigation will be carried out by relevant government agencies.
There were no casualty as far as life is concerned. Nobody died. We thank God for that. But there were one man and a woman. One man and a woman were injured. They have been treated and discharged. There were minor injuries and they have been treated and discharged. The collapse did not affect the main structure. It was just the frontage of the building. That's what the agency that will be sure of that is the material testing laboratory. So on Monday morning, we have mobilized funds and materials to invite the material testing laboratory to come and look at the rest of the structure. So they will give a critical appraisal of the integrity of the structure. If the structure needs to go, the structure has to go. But this structure just needs some fixing and repairs to be done.
The Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, has been speaking on the recent foiled robbery operation at the border between Nigeria and Benin Republic. Mr. Fatai Owosheni, who visited the scene of the incident, said the operation followed an intelligence report resulting in the killing of some of the suspected robbers. The Nigeria Customs hailed the cooperation of the various Nigerian security agencies and their Beninois counterparts in stopping the robbery.
Lying in this van are bodies of 3 men, 2 dead and 1 still alive. Police say they are part of a 17-man robbery gang that terrorized Lagos, Ogun, Ondo and Edo states and Benin Republic. With 3 boats, 22 pieces of dynamite and explosives, and rifles, including general-purpose machine guns, the men seem ready to wreak havoc until they met their Waterloo.
The gang, in a commando way, came out of their boats with a view to advancing for the attack. They opened fire indiscriminately as they advanced. Security forces, consisting of officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force, the Department of Customs, led by the Controller of Customs at Semeboda, and our colleagues of the Operation Mensa of the military, who had been keeping vigil at the waterfront, swiftly responded and repelled the attack.
What is unique about this operation is how it brought the Nigeria Police, Customs, the Army and the Navy together. Nigeria and its next-door neighbor, Benin Republic, were also united on this mission.
We jointly gave the armed robbers massive attack, repelled them. They abandoned their boat with explosives, guns, arms and ammunition, and some were also abandoned in the water. The synergy that is taking place here is the best I've seen ever. And we urge all the sister agencies to emulate the police. Supposing they got this information and kept it themselves because they want to take the glory, wouldn't have been where we are today. They shared it, we planned together, and it paid off.
Collaborations like these will no doubt go a long way in reducing crime, not only in the country, but along the borders it shares with some of its neighbors.
Residents of a street in Iwaya area of Yaba, Lagos State have continued to ask for the intervention of the state government on the blockade of their road. Our correspondent, Inni Thompson, tells us more in this report.
About 3 weeks ago, Channels Television brought you the story of the residents of Yeye Street in Iwaya area of Lagos State. They told us how their exit, which also serves as their entrance, had been blocked because of the development of a land. Consequently, Channels Television visited the Commissioner of Physical Planning and he promised to do something about it.
We have been there. We have served the notices. Nobody has rights. I repeat, no one has right to close the access meant for a neighborhood.
That was about 3 weeks ago when, according to the commissioner, paperwork to deal with the complaints of the residents here had started at the Lagos State Building Control Agency. But residents say no action has been taken in their favor yet, and so their situation remained the same, if not worse.
Last 2 weeks, about 3 houses dislodged their septic tank into this very drainage, which will cause epidemic. One, then system two, we don't even suppose that I was able to enter into my office, you will see the Loma bill that was brought. The Loma are unable to access this community again. And we dispose all our refuse in this gutter.
The local government level where they reside, there's an environmental services department, there's a health department. Those ones should go there now. So the people should go and make a report there so that immediate action can be taken. PSPs have been paid to cut away refuse, so it's not free, so they can cut away the refuse. That's on the solid waste side. Then they can assist them to access PSP operators of dislodgers that will help them dislodge the septic tanks.
A recap of the situation that has led to this is that Yeye Street, which holds about 10 buildings, ends on the one end at a canal and is left with one thoroughfare. However, in January 2016, the construction of a fence after the change of ownership of a land in their neighborhood has blocked this.
Somebody puts a structure in an area which ought to constitute your right of way. You can proceed against that person by way of criminal liability on the ground of criminal trespass.
Residents say they've been invited for a meeting by the Lagos State Building Control Agency for Thursday, March 24th, and they hope that the discussion will lead to a quick intervention by the government. Ini Thompson reporting for Channels Television News.
Nigeria must brace in its information management in all sectors of the economy to foster growth and progressive development. These were some of the views at the 2016 Institute of Information Management lecture in Lagos. Our correspondent Loretta Chiogo reports that new fellows were also inducted, while awards of excellence were given to deserving members and organizations, including Channels Television.
I pledge to accept. The high point of the event was the induction of new fellows and the presentation of new members of the Governing Council of the Institute of Information Management Africa. The event is not all about the induction. The president of the institute, Ambassador Oyewole Oyedoku, expresses displeasure at the manner the information on the 2016 budget was handled, exposing irregular figures. A view also shared by the registrar of the institute.
Currently, we're faced with so many challenges in the area of how information is being managed at the national level. We had issues with the budgets, we had insecurity in the country, we have quite a number of issues around education and so on and so forth. The need for information management to be brought to the front burner can never be overemphasized. And I think this is the right time for the new government to look into this and make it a national priority, even declare a state of emergency for information management in Nigeria. This will really go a long way in saving us all the embarrassments we've experienced in the past.
They have given directives to the ministries, departments and agencies that they should start the first stages of having their records digitized for safer keeping from fire hazards, from weather hazards, from all sorts of hazards. That's a good start, but it does not start and end there. There are laws that need to be made.
The general consensus here is that poor data and record keeping plus poor information dissemination can hamper the growth and development of any society. And for Nigeria, it is a must that the government must have access to unhindered information, without which the fight against corruption and poverty would amount to a race in circles. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
The visit by a delegation from the European and Dutch mission to the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, over the ban on exportation of beans from Nigeria is one of the steps to a possible lifting of the ban imposed on the nation's dried beans to EU nations in 2015. As part of the fact-finding mission on how well Nigeria has closed the gap that led to the ban, the EU-Dutch delegation, led by Dr. Gijs Kletter, inspected some of the 18 laboratory units of NAFDAC, including the pesticide residue lab. The acting Director General of the agency, Mrs. Yetunde Oni, is optimistic that the EU ban may be lifted soon.
But what this visit is going to ensure now is more collaboration amongst all the relevant organizations, and it's particularly the quarantine, the Export Promotion Council, the customs, all of us working as a team to ensure that we put all the checks and balances in place. Sensitization of even all the farmers that use all these pesticides and the chemicals to ensure that they use the right quality chemicals to boost their beans produce. The ban was imposed on us about a year ago to last until end of June 2016, and with this visit and the inspection of our laboratory facility and series of activities that have been going on since October, I'm optimistic that within the next couple of weeks the ban will be lifted for Nigeria.
What I can say without really speculating on the outcomes is that so far it's been really encouraging and heartwarming to see the enthusiasm with which our Nigerian colleagues want to tackle these issues, the ideas and the visions they have on how to improve even further the quality and the safety of Nigerian produce, particularly because agriculture production is gaining in importance worldwide, also as a source of income.
Well, let's go to our business news studios now, where Adeshawa Josh is standing by to give us a look at the day's business news.
Thanks a lot, Harriet. Good evening, everyone. These are the business stories this hour. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria will hold its second meeting for the year next week. At the two-day meeting, market watchers expect the increase in the February inflation rate and the issues surrounding the foreign exchange market to top the agenda. They are also of the opinion that an increase in key rates and adjustments in the exchange rate may reduce speculative demand for foreign exchange. At the last meeting in January, the MPC maintained the monetary policy rate, the cash reserve requirement, and the liquidity ratio at 11%, 20% and 30% respectively. The outcome of the meeting will be announced on Tuesday, March the 22nd. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that Nigeria's trade merchandise declined by 7.25 trillion naira, that's about 30.6%, from 23.49 trillion naira in 2014 to 16.42 trillion naira in 2015. According to the report, the total value of Nigeria's merchandise trade in the fourth quarter of 2015 stood at 3.65 trillion naira. That's about 9.2% lower than the value of 4.02 trillion naira recorded in the preceding year. The NBS attributed the drop to a 40.3% decline in the value of exports, which fell from 16.3 trillion naira to 9.72 trillion naira within the same period. It, however, noted that a decrease of 676.4 billion naira in the total imports in 2015 helped mitigate the declining trade balance. Standard & Poor's, an international ratings agency, has revised Nigeria's sovereign credit outlook down to negative from B+. The agency says the decline in crude oil prices has taken its toll on the nation's economy and foreign exchange policy, which is also creating dislocations in product and financial markets. This negative outlook, according to S&P, reflects possibility of downgrade in the next 12 months if there is deterioration of Nigeria's fiscal or external accounts. S&P is of the opinion that Nigeria's monetary policy has also weakened the country's credit profile. Trading in the bond market was predominantly bearish this week as average yield expanded by 28 basis points to close at 11.16%. This is the first week-on-week expansion since February the 5th. During the midweek auction, the DMO fully allotted 20 billion naira of the February 2020 note and 40 billion naira of the January 2026 note at respective marginal rates of 11.33 and 12.09%. The DMO also fully allotted 40 billion naira of the new March 2036 note at a marginal rate of 12.4%. Average rate at the interbank money market closed at 8.85%, representing a 56 basis points week-on-week expansion. Rates on the 1, 3 and 6-month tenor rose to close at 8.96%, 10.05% and 11.1%. The overnight rate recorded a marginal contraction, shedding 1 basis point to close at 5.3%. On Monday, average rates rose due to reduced system liquidity from 157 billion naira from 222 billion on Friday. This remained unchanged on Tuesday. However, rates contracted as proceeds from maturing OMO bills worth 172.83 billion naira hit the system. By the end of the week, rates expanded following a drop in liquidity levels as commercial lenders scrambled for funds to settle bond purchases and bids for short-dated bills on offer at the OMO window. And that's business news tonight. The news at 10 continues in a moment. I am Adeshewa Josh.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigerian Premier League champions Eimba of Aba make it to the qualifying round of CAF Champions League. That's in sports news. Join us again.